Okay, for this video lecture, so we will be discussing about decentralization. So this is part of, uh, or this is in connection also with that of the first video lecture that we have related to responsibility accounting. Okay, so here the firms, normally they have multiple responsibility centers as mentioned, and they choose one of the two approaches to manage their diverse and complex activities. So they can choose either to follow the centralized decision making or the decentralized decision making. So for centralized decision making, the decisions normally are made at the very top level management, where and the lower level managers are just charged for implementing those decisions. Okay, so here the lower level managers do not normally uh, have the part for decision making, so they are just only given the responsibility to implement whatever decisions the top management have agreed upon. So, while on the other hand, for the decentralized decision making, here the organization allows managers at the lower level to make and implement their decisions pertaining to their areas of responsibility. So, if you could uh, compare between centralized and decentralized, so under the decentralized decision making or structure, each of the managers, the different segment or divisions have their own authority within their uh, areas of responsibility. Okay, so they can make their own decisions and implement at the same time. Okay, so but of course they are also responsible for any result or actions that they make. So under the decentralized structure, we normally implement the responsibility accounting that we have discussed before. So, decentralization is the practice of normally delegating the decision making. So, this is actually the a main feature of a decentralized structure. So, they delegate the decision making authority to the lower level management. So, this is especially or normally is practiced for the multinational companies in which they operate in different regions, countries, and geographical areas. So they implement the centralized form of management because of the location and uh, the decision making and the information or the communication barriers as well. Okay, so this is more effective and efficient for MNCs. So the MNC, they are the corporation that does business in more than one country, as mentioned. So in such a volume, that its well-being and growth rest in more than one country. Okay, so that's why they are normally under the decentralized structure. So aside from uh, the mentioned reasons, especially for MNCs, there are other reasons why an enterprise uh, decides to use the decentralized structure. So, number one is there is better access to local information. So, because of uh, delegating the lower level managers the responsibility for decision making and implementation, so they have uh, the contact with the immediate operating conditions within their areas of responsibilities. Okay, so meaning to say, they are there, they know how they operate, what their problems are, and the possible solutions that they can implement. So it is better that they should do the decision making and implementation. So the second reason is cognitive limitation. So normally there are individuals with specialized skills in their field of expertise are needed. So aside from the management, normally they should seek the opinion of the specialized experts pertaining to a problem in their operations or management, in which they don't necessarily have to um, ask about it from the top management, in which the top management may not have that specialized skills. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why decentralization is uh, efficient and effective. The third is there is more timely response because local managers both makes and implements the decision. So therefore, the problem of communication delay will not arise. Okay, so this is uh, like in the case of the MNCs, in which they operate in uh, different geographical areas or regions. Okay, so there may be um, communication delays, okay, because of the different locations and other communication barriers. Whereas if the manager will have their own uh, decision making authority, so they can act immediately, okay, on what are the needed and the necessary solutions for their problems. Okay, the fourth reason is focusing of central management. So here, the managers at higher level of the chain of command have broader responsibilities of powers. Therefore, um, the top managers or management, I mean, have uh, different, and normally they have a broad responsibilities, in which there are cases where a certain division or area may not be looked into, especially for decisions, and that they might um, not address immediately the concerns of those divisions and managers. So that's why here, when the decision making is being delegated, so the lower manager within their areas of responsibility can act, okay, according to the need of their segment of division. Okay, so the fifth reason is training and evaluation of segment managers. So the lower level managers have the opportunity to make and implement decisions, and they can also um, uh, evaluate their employees. Okay, and they can also send feedback because they are hands on what is going on within the segment or division where they are responsible. So they can take that uh, evaluation of the performances, okay, with not actually a precision and accuracy, but with more detailed basis, because they are there and it's part of their authority and responsibility. Okay, the sixth reason is motivation of segment managers. So, since the local managers have the freedom to make their decisions, some of the higher level needs, like the self esteem and self actualizations, are actualization are being met. So, because in this case, they feel like they are empowered, and they are given the authority in which they should practice, okay, with due diligence and uh, efficiency. Okay, so this normally makes segment managers motivated to do their work or task. Okay, so the next reason is there is enhanced competition. So here, it allows the company to determine each division's contribution to the profit, and to expose each division to market forces. So because in this case, they will act as an independent entity, although they should work in accordance with uh, the overall objectives of the organization. Okay, so because of that, the managers might feel competitive, and they should do better compared to that of the other segments, because they are being evaluated as well by the top management at the end of the day. Okay, so those are the concepts of decentralization.